What's up, everybody? We are on our Hard Money Bankers live show daily, and I'm joined with a very special guest. So anybody local here, I'm sure this face is extremely recognizable. But joined with Ken Wellar today, Rittenhouse Realty Advisors. Ken, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you
Good.
guys.
Are you
Guys
on your
staying safe?
balcony? Yeah.
Yeah. Like half the day I work from my balcony. The other day when the sun comes in, I work from my home office. So it came down to Miami in April once we got confirmation that the city was not open till May. Now pushed back to June 4th. So just been working down here, at least enjoying the weather, getting some good workouts in the morning every day, getting out for bike rides and runs every day. So it's been nice to at least enjoy the weather down here.
Gotcha. So you are in Miami, and you are staying sane by keeping some sort of semblance of consistency in your own life.
Yeah. Actually, my routines haven't really changed much when it comes to just waking up every day at 5 a.m., start my day and, working out starting at 5:30 and really starting kind of my day at 7 a.m. and working throughout the day, just not being in the office and just really working from home. That's
Has it been like that
the,
from the
the
beginning?
biggest difference right now. It's just
Did you have
not
like a
being in the
vacation
office.
period where you like slept in till 9 or 10, or have you stayed at the 5:30 the whole time?
I can't hear you.
Oh, he's saying, Ken. He's saying, can you hear me, Ken?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. He was saying, did you, like, when this whole thing got into lockdown, has your routine always been your routine, lockdown or not, or did you have like a little vacation period like everybody kind of bumped into in the start?
Yeah, no, honestly, when it first happened, actually the first week in March, when it started going down, I was not feeling great myself. That first week in March, I actually started working from home. I didn't know if I had it or not, but I just took caution and worked from home that first week. So the second week, I went back in that Monday, and then the governor shut everything down um, pretty much by noon that day. So I ended up just starting to work from my house in Philadelphia. And I have a pretty nice setup there, nice home setup. I have a gym right next to my office, so I've been trying to keep a routine of working out, get my body and mind right every day, and meditating. But I didn't really slow down. I just kept my regular routine going, just not seeing people. A lot more of these virtual meetings, a lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of go meetings. Uh, we started that pretty much right away. Once we knew that the office was going to be shut down, we set up team meetings pretty much 3 times a week. Monday mornings at 9 a.m., Wednesdays every Wednesday at 5, and then we kind of get together on Fridays as a team and do like a happy hour just to see how the week was going and just chat what's happening in everybody's world.
So you guys moved on it immediately then. It sounds like you're not even like, almost like you didn't have to adjust. You were like, this is the natural thing to do. We're on Zoom. Like, almost like, because I think the shocking thing for anybody is like the shift of like what everybody's calling the new norm. But like, some of us were already virtual. Some of us were already ready for not this particularly, but a shift in the marketplace. And it sounds like you guys, like, you're not talking about this as if it's all new. It's more like this is what we had to do naturally to just move through business.
Yeah, I mean, the first week was really the adjustments and just trying to understand what was going on and how long we were going to be in this. Once we knew we were going to be in it for a while, we made some quick decisions that, hey, communication is like the number one thing right now. Communication with our team, so keeping them informed with what we're doing, and communication with our clients as well, which is huge. So I think right now this has been the best time I have ever been able to get a hold of so many of my clients and feeding them with information. Maybe a normal conversation would be 2 to 5 minute call. I have lasted closer to like 30 minutes to an hour. So right now we're just trying to absorb as much information as possible, what's out there. We've been on a lot of webinars. We've been sharing a lot of information, a lot of different educational stuff. Just trying to uh, find out what's happening right now. Right now, clients are just trying to find out as well. We're really in the multifamily space, so we're in the affordable housing, student housing, market rate apartments, and we sell a lot of development and redevelopment deals. Um, so overall, when you're looking at like commercial real estate, uh, multifamily has fared a lot way better than say the retail sector or the hotel sector, which are getting crushed right now, which is unfortunate. Uh, and the retail and collections on the retail side have been very poor from what I'm hearing from most of our clients and most of the experts we're hearing out there and what they're saying about collections. But overall, in multifamily, the collections have been pretty good for April as well as May. Uh, May, I think I just read something today that collections overall from NMHC have been in the high 80s, about 89% um, collection so far.
Well, that's not, so that was one of the things I wanted to talk about. So a lot of people watching this will know who you are, but, from like a business standpoint, you're one of the biggest movers of multifamily properties in the city. Everybody knows Cam Weller. So it was like, well, what's going on in the multifamily world? Because everybody knew what you just, kind of, well, not new, but like was thinking what you just said, which is like, hey, the retail commercial is getting hit right now. Like it is what it is. And you probably got a lot of guys in your space that that you're buddies with or been friends with for many years that are just like, we got nothing going on right now, and guys and our clients are getting hurt. But from the multifamily space, which a lot of people lump together in like that retail commercial space, it's very different. And I was actually wondering, and I wanted to ask you today on the show, like, are units still moving? It sounds like it's healthier than most people would think in, from the high level view. Are you guys still moving things? Are you still seeing clients with appetite? What's going on there?
Well, two questions there. I think for leasing, it's actually pretty strong. A lot of owners. I was on a call today with three major center city multifamily owners, and they have really moved their whole world into virtual tours and virtual leasing tours, and that's still getting a lot of activity, and it's not as high as it was a year before, but they're still getting a lot of activity. One of the comments I talked to somebody about today was that a lot of the potential tenants, they wanted to do their tours on their own. If they're going to have to go in the building, a lot of owners are giving them access to the vacant unit with no leasing agent. And I think that's going to be one of the major shifts you're going to see in the marketplace, is just the online leasing and online virtual tours for tenants to take apartment buildings without ever stepping into an apartment building. On the sales side, we were fortunate enough to have a pretty large pipeline when this started, and had about 7 deals closed since March of multifamily deals or multifamily development deals. A lot of those deals were pretty far along. They were either, the money was non-refundable on the deposit, or that they had the bank pretty much lined up for financing. So we were fortunate enough to get those deals across the finish line, basically at our contract price. I can say that projects right now, we put a lot of deals on hold until probably June or July on bringing out new deals or new portfolios. Some of the stuff that we are just bringing out to market are affordable housing deals or light tech deals, or have government contract deals, CAP contracts. So, we believe there's been a great appetite for those type of deals nationally because of the government guaranteeing of the rent, and there's been a lot of activity on those type of deals nationally. So this week we actually brought out a 183 unit portfolio out in the Scranton area. Next week we're bringing out 172 unit complex down in Delaware. That's a HAP government contract. So those type of deals are still moving. I think the student housing side is on hold right now, till we get confirmation of the schools are coming back in the fall. We have a lot of deals that are under agreement right now that we really just extended the contract or push back settlement until we get a little more confirmation of if of these major universities are going to be coming back in the fall. California, they made an announcement that a lot of the state schools are going to be all online. I don't believe that's going to happen here. I'm hoping it's not, because it would have a major impact, especially in Philadelphia, because we're so heavily around meds and eds and education and a lot of the housing. There's over 100,000 students a year in the Penn, Drexel, Temple market. So it's very important for our local economy in Philadelphia that the schools open back up. So we have our fingers crossed and are hopeful that they'll still open. My guess is, and my prediction on that would be that they'll probably open in the fall, but they'll just limit the amount of people that can go to a class at a certain period of time. So, traditionally you might see a class of 100 students. Maybe they'll limit the amount of students that could go per class to like 30 and spread out the students as they go to class.
Gotcha. So I guess the question then, the one thing that everybody's wondering, especially, realtors in general, right? They're just thinking, when is this going to reopen? Everybody wants Pennsylvania to reopen so they can start selling again. But I think you speak to a large volume of like you said, you've got some stuff that is waiting to come on market, but you probably, you have huge stuff compared to most people, but the average person, the average realtor that's going to be doing listings probably all have, 1 to 5 deals that they're kind of holding. So I'm kind of wondering when there's going to be a moment when all of a sudden the market just gets flooded with inventory from large multifamily stuff that you do to, single families. When are you seeing like generally pushing contracts out to say it's worth having out there right now versus like, too soon?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at least in Pennsylvania, essentially realtors are not an essential business, and one of the few states, probably I think the only state in the country that's not allowing realtors really to do any showings. We actually did an announcement of one of our latest closings, and these were deals we're not doing showings for. It was just they were far along. We haven't been doing any showings, but we got a call from the state just confirming we're not doing showings, and no one's working from the office, which is confirmed. But there's people looking, and I want to make sure that everyone's abiding by the law right now, which we are. So I think nothing's going to really open back up until the state opens back up. When we look into the June 4th, I believe is the date. We had a call today with our team about opening the office back up and letting people come in maybe certain days. Everyone has to wear a mask. We're going to be spread out our team with open cubicle for every person, and we're going to be very cautious. We're moved a lot of our deals that are on market to virtual tours, and if someone does go out and does a tour for the day and has to meet somebody, we're asking that particular person not to come back into the office that day and just work from home the rest of the day. So we're being very cautious about it. We're taking all the right steps. We want to make sure, this is a serious pandemic we're in. So we want to make sure we're abiding by all the laws and doing all the right things.
So, how are you feel like as a person, how are you ready? It sounds like Miami's not shut down, so you're actually probably not feeling that lock as much as it might be feeling up here. But are you ready to come back, ready to get things, you were a guy you're always in the office. You're always, you like to put a suit on, you like to get in there. I'm sure you're kind of missing that a little bit, even though I'm sure this has been a nice little break, but like, are you ready to get back going or are you enjoying my?
Yeah, no, I'm chomping at the bits to get back at it, and just one of the biggest things I miss is just going out, and I might have anywhere from 10 to 15 meetings a week, just seeing people, seeing lot of my clients are my friends, and just going out to dinner, closing dinners, and the entertainment aspect to the networking, different networking events. Typically during a week, I'm out anywhere from 3 to 5 networking events a week. So, there's definitely a miss of that part of my life right now, and I'm excited to get back at it. And I don't think it's going to come back anytime soon, but slowly we can start doing meetings. We're talking about doing meetings wearing a mask. Um, most of my meetings now are just all virtual, just like this. So I'm just looking forward for that kind of interaction with human beings again. Right now in Florida, just to give you an example, it's they're starting to open the restaurants, the parks. So it's nice, and it seems like from everything I'm reading, at least down here, that the cases are not skyrocketing, but businesses are opening back up, and uh, it's nice to change the feel to see just people out and about. Everyone's wearing masks, but it's at least things are open.
That's what I was going to ask. Are people scared of each other? Like, how are they interacting? Because up here we don't know. We don't know what that's going to look like yet. So,
yeah, it was interesting. I went to we had some friends in Fort Lauderdale. We went. They have a pool, and we went swimming up at their pool last Friday, and then we just walked around like the major strip there, and people were, all the restaurants were opening. Like you could get a drink or get food on, and you can't go inside the restaurant, but you could be spread apart. The weather's great pretty much year around here, so a lot of people could sit outside. They have things more spread out. There was art galleries open that you could walk into. One or two people at a time could walk in. I just think that when things do open up, there's just going to be less people that can walk into space. You look like at a restaurant. A restaurant would hold maybe 100 seats. That restaurant's probably only going to be able to hold 20 or 30 seats, and really spread out the seats while they open. I think that's going to be the case moving forward for at least for the rest of the summer.
I got you. What have you guys know? You're an owner of RRA and also RCA, which is Rittenhouse Capital Advisors for people listening, right? Rittenhouse.
Yeah,
Capital. Yeah. So you get to see kind of. So my world has been affected by this. Fortunately, like from the private lending world, like all of my competitors' doors shut, and we stayed open because our type of funding was different. So, but you guys do a totally different type of funding with like the multifamily stuff that you guys do. So it's like a different type of money from what we do. So what have you seen in terms of the financing availability in the big multi-unit space? Like are banks interested? Because I just read something this morning and I don't know how, whatever, but JP Morgan is extremely interested in being in the long-term rental market, which means that's bank money shifting itself and shifting away from our single family flips, which is great for me. And then it's great for you because it increases the liquidity in the multifamily space. Anything on the backside of that you have heard? Or?
Yeah. So we, just so you know, we actually did right before this all happened, we did an announcement of a partnership with Greystone for our direct lending side, that we're actually could finance properties directly with Greystone. And
okay, well that's good. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So it was good timing because they're one of the few players right now that are actually lending. I think the reserves are higher right now than they typically are normally for a multifamily deal. But for the most part, a lot of the banks are on the sidelines. A lot of the banks were working out these PPP loans, and if a deal wasn't pretty far along, they weren't looking at really any new deals. And a lot of the local and regional banks, unless you have an existing really good relationship, you're probably not going to be a new customer to the bank right now. But on the multifamily side, again, most of the lending is going to be coming from Fannie and Freddie. We saw this back in 2009 during the last recession, that really the only lender out there was Freddie and Fannie, and I believe that's going to be the case to get us through this downturn as well.
So you guys have that man. I forgot. I remember the announcement when you put it out, and to your average person in real estate, they probably didn't realize how significant that move is to have Greystone backing you as being a direct lender. So from my perspective, I was like, that's great. Now this was pre-virus though.
Yeah. So it was great timing for us.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Now a lot of our conversations have really shifted to, hey, it's probably not we're more on the advisory service where we're saying like, hey, this is probably not the best time to sell right now, but where rates are right now in the low 3%. I talked to a client today about a HUD deal, which rates are in the 2.5% range, the high 2%. So there's some great financing options for long-term debt out there, and we're really kind of put the hat on of advising our clients, not just on the sales side, but also on the debt side, how to strategize and help, if they have loans coming due, or, can they capitalize on the lower interest rates right now?
So yeah, that's I guess that is a very unique space. And what's the way I kind of see that playing out for you guys is, it's only the financing in general was, the doors were shut like in a week's time. So anything from here on out increases the liquidity in the market space, and therefore, it only can get easier for you guys to provide financing for your clients. And at 2.5%, like that's like significantly lower than a regular home mortgage. So if you get kind of getting rates like that, that's going to be historical lows. Is that like a fixed rate too?
Yeah, that's
5-year
HUD product. Yeah, those products take a longer time to close, probably 9 months to 12 months to actually get from start to finish to get it closed. But it's a great option if you have some time to be able to put long-term debt on. That's self-amortizing.
Oh, might have just lost Ken. There he is. You're back. I think we lost you for a second. Get there, Ken?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. So I mean, 2.5% money to me, that is free money. Like if you're in the marketplace and you're looking to buy a multifamily house or something, even at like 3 or 4%, it's crazy. That's free money. And if you can get that fixed for any kind of long time distance, I mean, we're going to see a time, I don't know now, but in the next 10 years, when the rates will come back up, and all of a sudden you're going to be like at 7 or 8%, and everybody's gonna be like, do you remember that time we had like 2.5 and 3% financing? It's going to be a historical moment. And I actually think the next cycle that people are going to see, even in the multifamily world, for sure in the multifamily world, at those rates, will be seller financing. So there'll be a space when all of this gets kicked up to 7.5, 8%, and everybody's going to be looking at these 3% notes and buying into it. So might have just Kim went blank there. Might have lost him. I don't know about the reception. What's that?
I'm here.
I hear
him. I hear him. I don't.
All right. Sorry, my phone keeps ringing. Sorry.
That's okay, man. That's okay. So
I called it from my phone.
Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, Ken, what's the what's the next thing that you expect to come down? Like, what's the big adjustment when the world gets back to normal? How do you see RRA proceeding business from a business perspective into the rest of 2020? You know what I mean? Like sales / volume, how do you see yourself finishing the year, assuming that we're all kind of up and moving within the next month?
Yeah, hold on. I'm just trying to get back here on this video.
No problem. I put your website up on the screen to fill the. It's actually a really good website specifically for these kind of Zoom meetings because it has like the active motion. It's like very soothing. It's like watching a fish tank, minus the traffic of Philadelphia, but it's a good website.
Hang up and try to call back in. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I got you. You're there.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah. So, the one final question I wanted to ask you was, how do you see, assuming everything opens up in the next month and there will be adjustments to be made, how does, I'm looking at numbers here, 1.18 billion in sales volume and stuff that we have on the site. I mean, you guys do tremendous volume. So, how do you see from, call it July till the close of the year, RRA, finishing? What kind of sales? Do you think it'll be a little bit lower, a little bit higher? There'll be a surge, give a prediction, I guess.
Actually, I think we should, I think we should have actually a pretty good year with everything going on. We have a huge pipeline we have a diverse, as I was saying earlier in the call, diverse portfolio of stuff that we do. So we're doing a lot of development deals right now that we're selling the land for. And a lot of those deals are just on hold until the city opens back up. And once the city opens back up and they could kind of get through some of their final civil design reviews and get through most of the zoning, these large deals are going to be closing. So we have a huge pipeline of those deals closing. As I was saying, that we're focusing a lot of our deal flow as well on the affordable side. And then some of the core assets we recently went to contract with or going to contract with as well. I think institutional investors as well as large high family office clients are going to look for safety and flight of quality. And, the few deals that we have closed recently have been in great locations. And I think some of those deals that we're selling right now will end up trading at really big numbers still. And then finally, we're going to really continue to focus on, advising our clients on the financing side. I think there'll be great opportunities on locking in with some of these historic low interest rates right now. So we're going to take advantage of where rates are and focus on locking up some of our clients with great interest rates right now.
I love it, man. I like an optimistic view on these now, especially when we have these discussions, and everybody seems to have a pretty optimistic tone to it. So, so Ken, we'll have a lot of hundreds of thousands of people that'll end up seeing this. And I'm sure some of them are either looking to buy a multifamily property or have one to sell. And I can attest that, RRA, if you don't, everybody knows who you are, so I don't really have to say. His phone might be ringing, but how would who would people reach out to, either in your office or whatever, to contact you guys about, if I want to sell or buy a multifamily property?
Yeah, you could just info@rittenhouserealty.com, or you could email me directly it's pretty easy, Ken, KEN@rittenhouserealty.com. And then we'll, tag you up with the best person on the team to see what you're looking for and try to help any needs that you might have.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate it, Ken. Enjoy the weather, stay healthy, and look forward to seeing you back up here soon.
All right, thanks. Good to see you guys. Thanks a lot.
All right, see you, brother. Yep.
Bye.